Hey BookTube, it's Tara, and kind of a different setup right now, so hopefully it's not too distracting, but wanted to do my Friday reads really quickly. So as far as what I started and finished already this week, we're going to start with This Is My America by Kim Johnson. This book follows a young girl named Tracy who is still in high school, whose father is on death row and has been for the past 7 years. And so Tracy faithfully wrote this non-for-profit organization called Innocence X, which is a organization that helps to get convicts off who were wrongly convicted. And so after 7 years of fighting the good fight, she decides she's going to take matters into her own hands since no one else is helping her. This book was absolutely phenomenal, amazing, 5 out of 5 stars, not a dull moment in it. Obviously it deals with mass incarceration, racism, Black trauma, generational curses, and generational trauma issues. I mean, this book handled and tackled pretty much everything and did so in a way that was entertaining, engaging, kind of kept you on the edge of your seat because you wanted to fight with Tracy. You wanted to see how the outcome would end. And I will say, as I wrote in my review, that Kim Johnson's book, I don't know if this is her first book or not, I haven't done the research, but it reminds me, the writing style, of Tiffany D. Jackson's work. And if you love Tiffany D. Jackson like I do, you would love this book. It was phenomenal. Again, 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, for the second book that I started and finished today, well, not today, this week, is The Death of Vivek OG by Akwaeke Emezi. And this was my first book by this author. Got it from Book of the Month Club, and I've been trying to keep up on my Book of the Month Club reads because when I get them in the mail, they tend to just go on the bookshelf and I end up reading everything else ahead of them. So I'm trying to catch up with keeping on track when I receive the book to actually read the book that same month. Anyway, this book follows Vivek, who is dead in the beginning of the story. So kind of like a murder mystery. We need to find out how he died, who killed him, what happened. And so this short book, beautifully written, I felt like I didn't get enough of Vivek's perspective in this book. I felt like the story talked about him, especially from everyone else's perspective, his mother, his father, his uncles, his aunt, his cousins, his friends. And I got a couple chapters, maybe a little bit more, of Vivek stating something or giving his perspective, but I would have liked to learn more what was in his head as he was going through the transitions he was going through. I also will say I knew by the first third of that book that I got a feeling of how he died. I got a feeling of who was involved. And by the end of the book, I was right. So it felt predictable, in essence. I did feel that the story was a tad bit drawn out. Even though it is a short book, I kept feeling like, okay, get to the point. Let's find out. Let's get some action. Let's find out what's going on. Again, let's get some more detail about Vivek's transition in life. Let's get more of that storyline. I want to talk about Vivek's death and how I felt about it, but I feel like that would be a spoiler, so I'm going to leave that out. However, I personally wasn't impressed. The one great thing that I can say about this novel is that Emezi crafted a brilliant and beautiful and accurate, and well, I don't know if it's accurate per se, but she crafted a very vivid realization of what mourning looks like for a mother, because Kavita, Vivek's mother, went through a lot of stages of grief throughout this novel, and it felt very authentic, and so I could appreciate that in the writing. Overall, I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. It was just okay. The next book I started and finished, or I finished this week, is The Lovely War, or not The Lovely War, Lovely War by Julie Berry, and this was a buddy read with Zoo's Book Corner. And I believe she may have given it 3 out of 5 stars. I gave it 4. I felt that Berry did an excellent job in her research of the political climate, the social climate, the racial climate during World War I, which this book of historical fiction is based in, and you follow 2 storylines of 2 couples during this time. It's narrated by the goddess Aphrodite, and as well as other Greek gods, and their participation and relationship with the mortals and their love stories. So it was a brilliant concept, and I felt it was beautifully told. I wasn't vested in the characters in the least. However, I was very interested in what happens next, and I wanted to know how it ends. So because it held my attention and because it was entertaining on some level, and I love historical fiction, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. As far as what I'll be reading and starting today and this weekend, I started this earlier today, Not So Pure and Simple. This is by Lamar, Giles, and I am 50% through with this novel already. Funny is what I can say. This is so entertaining, and I can guarantee you I'll finish it by tomorrow. It is a page turner for sure. So we're following Dell, who's in high school. He has been in love with Kiera since kindergarten, and it's his mission throughout this book to win her affection. And so during church one Sunday, he's not paying attention to the sermon, but at the end of church, they are doing somewhat of an altar call. Really, it's an invitation to join a purity pledge in the church. So when he sees Kiera go up to the front of the church, he, having not paid attention, follows suit. And when he realizes why he's up there and he gets asked the question in front of the congregation, why did you decide to join the purity pledge? He goes, huh? What am I up here for? So it kind of takes off from there. Again, it is hilarious. It does speak on the conflict that is going on with Dell, with the church, and with the school. Because the other storyline that happens in this school is that, or in this story, excuse me, is that the news media as well as the church has decided to pin this story that there's also a pregnancy pact going on at the school, since there's an abundance of young ladies in high school that are coming up pregnant around the same time. So Dale is now conflicted because on one end he has the pastor of the church trying to be involved and trying to push his religious and political agenda on the school, and Dell full and well knowing the truth about what is really going on at his school and the truth behind some of the pregnancies that are happening. And so that's an interesting conflict to me, especially for this young man to be a part of, because he's standing in the face of what he feels is right and what is honest and what is pure. And looking from the outside in, you can see where that there are some hidden agendas going on with the church, and maybe even trying to covertly pose stories about the school or about the teachers or about even some of the students in order to push that agenda forward in the school system. So it has me interested on a bunch of levels, outside of it being funny, outside of it being contemporary, outside of it being, it feels like something that can happen right now, honestly. This is my first time reading this author. The writing style is amazing. It's so engaging. Like I said, it is so funny. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this book, and I probably will be done by tomorrow. It is that good. I also started on my Kindle a book by an author named Adenike called Birthright. And I wanted to read this because I was looking at Strawberry's channel, Behind the Pages, and she raved about it. I mean, she had such a good review on it that I wanted to read it, and honestly, I don't even remember what the book is about. But because she said it was so good, I was like, I'm gonna pick it up, I'm gonna read it. And so I said I was gonna read it in August. I did start on the first part of that book today. I'll probably have more to say about it next week on my next video, but that will wrap up this video for now. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like the content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, leave a comment. What are you reading this weekend? And I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.